Hey, what's up, guys? So this video is going to be a little bit different today. We're going to talk about martial arts, and I'm kind of giving a testimonial to my instructor, Jeremiah, my Sifu, my instructor, one of my good friends, my mentor in the martial arts for a long time, actually. But basically, what gives me the premise to talk about martial arts? Well, I've been a martial artist for about 20 years. I've been doing martial arts since I was a kid. And so I started off with, I'm gonna just tell you my journey real quick. I started off with karate. I got to about the intermediate belts, blue belt, orange belt, whatever it is, right? Doing the katas and stuff. And then I went into Shorin-ryu karate, which is a little bit more zoned in. And I did that for a little while. And then I went into Shaolin Kempo karate. So you're gonna see in the martial arts, it's traditional and non-traditional, right? So for a long time in my career as a martial artist, I was traditional, right? And then you know I transferred over to something different. So after Shaolin Kempo karate, realized I got into a fight in high school. A guy punched me, did a horse stance. He punched me in the chest. Realized that didn't work. I knew I had to change my outlook on different things. So I looked up Bruce Lee. I never really was interested in Bruce Lee before high school, but I started to read the Tao of Jeet Kundo, which is his martial art. So Jeet Kundo stands for the way of the intercepting fist. So I knew that Bruce Lee was a martial artist. I knew that he was very popular in the martial arts years ago, before his death, but I never really knew who he was until high school, and I started to read his book and his philosophies and how his mindset on fighting really helped me. So after that, but I didn't get into Jeet Kune Do until years later. So after reading his book, I started to study. I tried to do some of the moves in the book. So I studied some Jeet Kune Do from the book, and then I went into the Marine Corps. I really got my last year in high school. I remember I got really obsessed with Marine Corps martial arts. That was another avenue for me. I became a black belt in Marine Corps martial arts and an instructor. So, but that was because of my interest in martial arts because of Bruce Lee. So Bruce Lee is a big inspiration. So after that, about a year after getting out, I found my first Jeet Kune Do teacher, and nothing against this person. I'm not going to say his name, but it just didn't work out, right? I trained with him for about a year. We had a falling out, but basically, like, I found through that school, I met my instructor that I have now, and he's probably one of the best instructors that I've seen, right? So the lineage goes back to Bruce Lee when it comes to Jeet Kune Do, right? You have Bruce Lee, he passed away in '73, and then you have Guru Dan Inosanto, who from the '70s on until even today has carried Jeet Kune Do, and he was one of Bruce Lee's main apprentices, and he was Filipino, so that's where the Filipino martial arts come in. And I love the Filipino martial arts. Any type of kali, any type of stick, knife, you know, all that stuff, right? It's all wrapped into one. So I really love that stuff. And then you have Paul Vunyak, who streamlined it and made contemporary Jeet Kune Do, right? So, he made it based on street fighting. And then you have my Sifu Jeremiah, who took all these different arts and made it into a very, very compact, very powerful combative system. And that's what I want to talk about today is Cali Combat Systems. So I started to train with Jeremiah about 2017, 2018. And we trained for about 6 months to a year. And I saw my skills skyrocket. I saw my skills just become better because of him, because of his training. And he was always training too, and I'm going to read some of his credentials in a minute. But, unfortunately, I left to go to Florida, and I trained with two other instructors out there, but I didn't really get the same street fighting method that Sifu Jeremiah has. So I left for Florida for 3 years, and I came back to San Diego last September, and I finally got a chance to start training with him again, and my skills just keep getting better as a martial artist. And you're talking about a person who's been in fights. I've been in bar fights. I've been in, different kinds of fights, in my lifetime, because of my size and because people want to push me to that point, right? Because I'm somewhat quiet and different things like that. So, but I'm going to read some of the things that we do in Kali Combat Systems. This is his symbol. This is his shirt. It's the Jewish star with Krav Maga symbol and a Jeet Kundo symbol in one. So, but it says Kali Combat Systems. This is from the website, the stand-up guys fighting method. We train Bruce Lee contemporary Jeet Kundo and Kali combatants contemporary Jeet Kundo. There's a street-involved scientific combat system which specializes in realistic self-defense training, stand-up fighting, close quarter combat, ground with biting, and eye gouging, including training edge weapons, blunt weapons, projectile, multiple opponent engagements. Learn active shooter, mass casualty, gun defense, fire, disarms military edge weapons. The new rapid assault tactics, clinch and ground, is developed by SEAL Team 6. Kine Mutai asymmetrical tactics to level any confrontational law enforcement control tactics taken from Krav Maga and BJJ. So we do go to the ground as well. We just call it the stand-up guys fighting method because you don't want to be, if you have multiple opponents and you're trying to put somebody in an arm bar, you're going to get stomped. That's just realistic. Basically, that's just what's going to happen. We offer practical self-defense training and weapons training for men, women, law enforcement, military security personnel in the art of fight, rhythm, Jeet Kundo, Kali Silat motion, integrated ground fighting systems. First to fight Israeli Krav Maga. This includes defense against multiple opponents, of course. Weapons, we train our four main realities of self-defense: stand-up, kicking, punching, integrated grappling, clinch, trapping, and ground. Weapons, offense, defense, and multiple opponents, mass attack to prepare you to protect yourself. So, and basically we call it filthy MMA. It's Jeet Kundo, Kali, Silat, Jujitsu, and Krav Maga. Right? So that's a whole entire system. That's 5 to 6 different systems in one, and he's an instructor in all of those. So Kali Combat Systems is basically one of the best martial arts schools in San Diego. And there's plenty of martial arts schools that, because once you go, and this is the difference between MMA and normal martial arts. When you go to an MMA gym, they're going to teach you boxing. I've been into some of the MMA gyms, and I used to train at these MMA gyms, and they're going to teach you boxing. They're going to teach you, Muay Thai, but they're not going to teach you anything for the street. So the biggest thing is understanding, you have to know things for the street. If you, Sifu Jeremiah says it all the time, if somebody has a weapon, you grab a weapon, right? These are different things that you have to do for self-defense, right? And everything is in a self-defense manner, right? So that's all I really wanted to say about Kali Combat Systems. You can come train with us if you're in San Diego. I just wanted to give my testimonial about Kali Combat Systems and what it's done for me. And that's pretty much it. All right, guys. Have a great day. Take care. Done.